There was a time when every photo felt like a little gamble. You'd press the shutter, hear that satisfying plastic tack, twist the winding wheel with that crunchy click click click, and hope, just hope, that the picture would turn out. No instant review. No delete button. No filters to hide mistakes. Just a moment captured, sealed in mystery inside a tiny roll of film. Disposable cameras weren't just tools. They were time capsules waiting to be opened. And today, we're opening one of those capsules together. Welcome back to Retro Treasure Unearthed, the place where we dig into forgotten gadgets, everyday relics, and the secret history behind the objects that shaped our world. In this episode, we're winding back the clock to rediscover the fascinating journey of the disposable camera, one of the simplest, humblest, and most influential pieces of photography ever created. These little plastic bricks gave millions of people their first taste of taking pictures. They documented weddings, vacations, school trips, and silly moments people forgot they'd captured until the day they picked up the developed prints. But how did these cameras become so iconic? Where did they really come from? Why did they disappear? And why are they quietly creeping back into our modern world? Let's rewind the film. Early roots, 1880s to 1950s. The dream of simple, affordable photography stretches back to the late 1800s. Even in 1886, inventors were experimenting with cardboard cameras preloaded with film, primitive ancestors of what we'd one day call disposable cameras. They were clever, but ahead of their time. The world wasn't quite ready. They were expensive to make, limited to niche markets, and simply couldn't compete with the rising popularity of more durable cameras. For decades afterward, photography remained an activity for the knowledgeable, the patient, and the wealthy. The idea of a use it, drop it off, and forget about it camera lingered in the background, but the technology and market weren't there yet. Then, nearly a century later, the world changed. The Fujifilm QuickSnap revolution, 1986. In 1986, Fujifilm shook the photography world with the release of the Utsurendisu, better known globally as the QuickSnap. It was small, preloaded, and brilliantly simple, a camera anyone could pick up, use, and then bring to a photo lab to get their prints. And it blew up. QuickSnap was reliable, cleanly designed, and more consistent than many early disposable attempts. Suddenly, photography wasn't just for enthusiasts or professionals. It became something casual, accessible, and fun. People started taking them everywhere, capturing vacations, birthdays, and candid moments that might have otherwise gone undocumented. Throughout the late 1980s and into the 1990s, QuickSnap dominated convenience stores, pharmacies, airports, and beachside shops. It wasn't just a novelty anymore, it had created an entirely new category of photography. The Kodak Fling, 1987. Seeing the success of Fujifilm's QuickSnap, Kodak decided to join the race. In 1987, they introduced the Kodak Fling, a small, lightweight, single-use camera that you shot once and then handed over to a photo lab for processing. The lab would develop the film and recycle the camera body. The name, Fling, might sound a little funny today, like you were tossing the camera away, but the idea was brilliant. Simple, affordable, and fun, it helped bring disposable cameras to a broader American audience and cemented their place in mainstream culture. As Kodak refined its design, competitors noticed, and the disposable camera market was officially born. The 1990s boom, a world of disposables. By the mid-1990s, disposable cameras were everywhere. Each style had its purpose: bright green outdoor versions for sunny days, indoor versions with powerful built-in flashes, waterproof cameras for underwater fun, elegant wedding table cameras, black and white models for artistic experimentation, and cartoon-themed disposables for kids. Families took them to the beach. Teens brought them to school events. Newlyweds left them on reception tables for guests to capture candid memories. Tourists picked them up minutes before boarding flights. Each camera had a signature look, slightly grainy, slightly imperfect, and charmingly unpredictable. Close-up group shots, off-center framing, accidental light leaks, weird flash reflections, these quirks became part of the culture. The disposable camera gave people something they'd never had before: casual photography. Photography for fun. Photography without fear of breaking expensive gear. If you grew up with disposable cameras, you remember the ritual. You'd carry it around for days, maybe weeks, squeezing in shots of everything, from big moments to total randomness, because each frame felt precious. When the film ran out, you'd hear that final, tight click of the winder. And that was it. The experience was over. Then came the best part: taking the whole camera to a photo lab. Handing it over. Waiting. And waiting. Sometimes a day. Sometimes a week. When the envelope finally arrived, opening it felt like discovering a treasure chest. Every print was a surprise. Some were blurry. Some were masterpieces. Some were hilarious accidents. Some captured moments you'd completely forgotten. That feeling, the anticipation, the reveal, the physical prints, that was the magic. But technology doesn't slow down. First came digital point-and-shoots. Then camera phones. Then smartphones, with instant previews, storage for thousands of photos, and editing tools built right in. Photo labs shut down. Film counters disappeared from drugstores. Sales plummeted. Entire factories dedicated to disposable cameras either pivoted or shut down completely. By the 2010s, disposable cameras were barely hanging on. Yet here we are today, seeing them again. Thanks to the analog revival, disposable cameras have found a second life. Younger generations, who never grew up with film, are discovering the joy of unpredictability, the surprise of waiting, and the charm of imperfect photos.
I think just the easiness of it, it's cool because you don't know what you're seeing and what you're gonna get.
Disposable cameras didn't die. They simply became special. They remind us that sometimes, the best memories aren't the ones we review instantly, they're the ones we rediscover later, with a smile. Thank you for joining me on this nostalgic journey. If this episode brought back memories, or made you want to pick up a disposable camera again, hit the like button, subscribe, and share your own stories in the comments below. Until next time, keep your memories alive.